Hey everyone, welcome to another Moment of Chaos video. I'm St. Adam, and today I'm going to give you my review. I want to say spoiler free, but if you'll allow me just one spoiler at the end of the Suicide Squad movie. You know, it's been like 5 years since we had a Suicide Squad movie, and the DCEU has taken a roller coaster ride from great movies like Wonder Woman and Aquaman to movies that piss people off. Like half the people that watched Wonder Woman 84. You can't see, but Sarah's off camera scowling at me. I'm not talking bad about Wonder Woman. I'm saying some people didn't like that movie. But that's not even the point of this video. Yeah, so lots happened. We got a new director in James Gunn. If you don't know the backstory, James Gunn was temporarily fired from Disney and Marvel after some tweets that were over a decade old came out where he made some inappropriate jokes. DC picked him up, made a rated R Suicide Squad film. And, you know, long story short, it's good. James Gunn really scraped the bottom of the barrel of D-list characters on this film. And as you would imagine, this film has a high body count, but a fun body count. So, not to go too much into spoiler territory, but this movie does what I said the first Suicide Squad film should have done, and that's send the team into a different country, a different territory that the U.S., for diplomatic reasons, cannot go into. That's the whole point of this team. And they did it with this. Now, James Gunn has a wicked sense of humor. We know that. Even if you don't even watch the Guardian of the Galaxy films and watch like some of the other films he's done or written, the rated R stuff, like Slither or Brightburn. Sarah's still shuddering off camera. You know James Gunn isn't afraid to go gory. He isn't afraid to go painful. So basically, he sends the Suicide Squad in to this island, Corto Maltese, which, if you remember, has actually been mentioned in the 1989 Batman film. It's where Vicky Vale went and took pictures before coming to Gotham. So nice little continuity there. Anyway, they go in to, you know, find this secret weapon, this doomsday device. And along the way you meet our Suicide Squad. It's a big squad at first, but don't get attached to really anyone. We got some returning characters, Rick Flag, Harley Quinn, who basically the DC universe is built around at this point, and Captain Boomerang. We got some new additions, you know, most notably King Shark, voiced by Sylvester Stallone. You know, we got John Cena as Peacemaker. More on him in a minute. We got Ratcatcher number 2 with flashbacks to Ratcatcher number 1. We got the Polka Dot Man, which when I say scraping the bottom of the D-list barrel, I wasn't kidding. Because I don't think I've ever seen Polka Dot Man in anything else, you know, media-wise, except for the comics and this. You know, we got people like Savant, played by Michael Rooker. We got Javelin, and I can't even remember who plays him off the top of my head. You know, we got Weasel, who's actually, you know, motion captured by James Gunn's brother. Sarah did not like Weasel. Yeah, I mean, we got TDK, played by Nathan Fillion. So, and we got Blackguard. Why can't I remember the name of the actor who's playing him right now? Tommy Davidson. No, that's not. I don't know. One of the guys from SNL is playing him. And we also have cameos of other DC characters at the prison. We got like Prism. We got James Gunn's brother also playing a cameo as the Calendar Man. It's like one of those blink and you miss them type things. But leading this team, and no, it's not Rick Flag, because, I mean, let's face it, did Rick Flag even lead the last team? Instead of Deadshot, we got Bloodsport, played by Idris Elba. Now, I must admit, I forgot that Bloodsport was even a character. I mean, yeah, he was in the Superman comics, but I mean, like, he wasn't one of the big names, which is what Gunn was going for. And it's really good to get, like, all these characters. Yeah, sure, Harley was going to be in the film and everything, but, you know, to have characters like Bloodsport or Blackguard or Savant, who I even forgot about, you know, in the comics. I took one look at Michael Rooker with the long white hair and the red outfit. I thought it was Snowflame, who should be the villain of the next Suicide Squad film. If you don't know Snowflame, look him up. He's powered by cocaine, and I am not even making that up. So they go on this island, they divide in two teams, which eventually becomes one team through various means. And they just make their way across the island. Now the guy working on this doomsday weapon, this project, is the Thinker, played by former 12th Doctor Peter Capaldi, who does a great job, and he's allowed to say fuck again, and his eyes light up when he says it. These characters are fun. Like I said, don't get too attached, but I mean, James Gunn has this great talent for taking things that shouldn't be cute and making them cute. I think Groot is an example. He's a walking tree, but a lot of people, my wife included, are just head over heels with Groot. They buy everything Groot related, and, you know, oh, Groot's so cute. Now we got King Shark, who Gunn even said he was trying not to make cute by giving him small eyes and a big mouth filled with sharp teeth. And again, Sarah was like, well, they failed because he keeps saying nom nom every time he eats someone. John Cena as Peacemaker. It's great. He's actually getting his own HBO show, and he should. He described him as a douchey version of Captain America, which, as someone who's watched wrestling for decades, thought, well, wasn't that just a John Cena character throughout his WWE career? But no, he's great. He is an asshole, and he's funny without being funny. You know, like where Deadshot could say things and be funny, Harley Quinn is definitely, you know, supposed to be funny and tries to be funny. Peacemaker is just a dick, and he just comes off as funny.
He is what he eats.
Yeah, he is what he eats, because there's a whole scene about him talking about eating dicks. The effects in this were pretty good. I mean, I gotta say, it's no spoiler that Starro is the Doomsday Weapon, Starro the Conqueror, who was the first villain that the Justice League has ever fought. And this is the Suicide Squad taking him on. He looks great. He moves like a starfish. And I say he because they keep referring to him as a he, so he, even though you could easily call it an it, because who the fuck knows. He is a little sad, though. Like, there's a line, I don't want to give it away if you hadn't seen the movie, where he talks about how he even got to Earth, and, you know, it is kind of sad. Also, like, opening up the emotional spectrum here, Polka Dot Man, who is funny, but in a tragic way. There's a lot of baggage there and a lot of backstory, and you do start to feel for the guy. And I gotta admit, I never thought Polka Dot Man was a threat, but in this movie, they turned him into a badass toward the end. Another kind of sad character is Ratcatcher 2. She's like the emotional anchor of this film. Where, you know, like in the first film, Deadshot, you know, kept thinking of his daughter, and that was kind of like the emotion that it brought to that team. Here, it's her and her little rat, Sebastian. She can call other rats, but Sebastian is her friend throughout the film, who actually is very entertaining and communicates. I can see just a lot of King Shark and Sebastian toys out there and people buying them. Yeah, so DC, where's the King Shark plushie? I do really recommend this film. Don't take it too seriously. At least it's a different style than that first one, where the first one tried to be dark and gritty with comedy sprinkled in. This one knows what it is, and it goes balls out with it. And it has a good soundtrack, but it doesn't overdo the soundtrack. I always joke that the first movie is really just an advertisement to buy the soundtrack. If you go back and watch it, 3 minutes in, you've already heard 3 songs off that thing. They space it out better. And again, Gunn is really good at storytelling. And he's really, where I feel he shines is in big groups of people and like highlighting their personalities and somehow making them work while conflicting at the same time. Bloodsport is not just Deadshot light. He's as much his very own character. I mean, originally they wanted to cast Idris Elba as Deadshot because Will Smith had scheduling conflicts and he couldn't do the movie, and they thought, no, we'll make him someone else so Will Smith can come back. Deadshot does have a daughter too. Oh, no, sorry, not Deadshot. Bloodsport has a daughter too, but it's not this loving father-daughter relationship. It's more like, Dad, you weren't there for me most of my life, and you're an asshole. And he's like, yeah, I know I'm an asshole. Why do you want to keep coming around me? It's that type of thing. So you don't really have that same dynamic. But if you're Bloodsport in this movie, he has this armor, and his weapons are made from his armor, and only he can use them. So it is pretty cool to see him just like MacGyvering weapons off himself and using them. There's a few Easter eggs. There's a Guardians of the Galaxy Easter egg, which I'll go ahead and say it because most people wouldn't recognize her. Mantis is in this. The actress who plays Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy. She's a dancer in a club. And I saw her and I'm like, I know who that is, but I can't quite place it. And then I'm like, oh wait, Mantis. Like I said, the effects are good. The pacing's good. It's not one of these almost 3-hour epic films. Like Gunn, while not making it like a simple 80-minute film, does go into this and keeps a pretty good pace with it. I never felt like the movie was lagging at all. The jokes are funny. The characters seemed organic as much as a comic book team can with a talking shark can be organic, but it did really feel like nothing was really forced there. You know, you get other peaks. Amanda Waller's back, and she is every bit the Amanda Waller that you know, and maybe love or maybe hate. What about you, Sarah? Do you have anything you want to add to that?
Nom nom.
She said nom nom if you didn't hear her. Yeah, I mean, really, like, if you're going in for, like, character-driven stuff, Ratcatcher 2 all the way. If you're going in for just, like, the jokes, you got Harley Quinn, you got King Shark, just right there. The both of them are funny. Bloodsport's funny, but for, like, a different reason. It's more like, oh, I don't even want to be here. Fuck it. You know, that's, like, his type of personality. Capaldi, like I said, is great even with all those weird things sticking out of his head. They do kind of drop other hints of things in the DC movie universe, as we know. Now, the one spoiler, if you will allow me, and I'll get to it here in a minute, I want to wrap up anyone that doesn't want to hear the spoiler, and it's just one minor one. Go see this. If you like the first Suicide Squad, you'll probably like this. If you didn't like the first Suicide Squad, you'll still probably like this because it's James Gunn and he's proven himself. Other than that, you may turn away from the spoiler. The spoiler I got here, it's the one thing I would change in this film. I loved all of it except for this one thing. Fucking Captain Boomerang dies in the first 10 minutes of this film. Some of you may not care, like, oh well, but he's a scumbag. He's the type of scumbag that other villains would be like, dude, you're a total scumbag. But I think that's why he works. And he's a classic Flash villain. And with this new Flash movie coming up, Flashpoint, I gotta wonder if they kill him in this film and then they do Flashpoint and it just kind of brings him back because they restart the whole universe, because that's what Flashpoint does. But I was kind of disappointed to see him go out because he's always been on the Suicide Squad, classic DC villain, and he dies because Mongol, I forgot to even mention her because that's how forgettable she is in the film, but she brings down this helicopter and he just kind of gets chopped up and burned up inside of it. I don't know. Minor nitpick, but I enjoy Captain Boomerang. I like how you have this whole group of scumbags, and he is the scummiest scumbag of all of them. So we'll see what happens. Plus, I think just Jai Courtney needs more work. I think he's a good actor, and I'd like to see him in more things. So, yes, Sarah.
You know who shouldn't have survived the movie?
That's another spoiler, and I told them I was only going to do one.
Okay, fine. We can leave it at that. But there's someone that shouldn't survive.
Sarah disagrees with the end credit scene, which there are two if you haven't seen it. There are two end credits. So there you go, Suicide Squad. I highly recommend it. I was entertained the entire time. Sarah was entertained most of the time, but she didn't like that final part. Well, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it around, laugh at me talking to my off-screen better half. Subscribe to the channel if you really liked it. Check us out on our social media. I'm talking Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Other than that, this is St. Adam saying this was a moment of chaos. See ya.